Welcome to the Bite Size Fitness Show, where we talk all things fitness, nutrition, and habits, and break them down into smaller, more digestible, bite-sized pieces of content for you to enjoy. My name is Sean Bikirk, and I am your host, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about that stubborn lower belly fat. You know what I'm talking about? That space that's just below the belly button that seems to be that one area that just can't go away. And this is particularly true if you've been doing this for a long time. You've already lost a bunch of weight. You feel super lean. You feel like everywhere else is on point. It's just this one stubborn area. But even if you do have extra body fat to lose, you're probably going to notice that there's going to be belly fat in that region as well. So let's talk about that. We're going to talk about what it could be, why it's so stubborn, and maybe some things that you can do about it. So before kind of assessing what to do about that belly fat, the first question you have to ask is it actually fat? Because most of the time it's going to be a non-fat issue. So it can be something like bloating. If you're feeling bloated, you might feel fatter. You might feel like you're getting heavier and adding body fat, but it's not actually body fat. It could be something during digestion. So you eat a food, you had the whole food baby thing going, your stomach's going to look bigger, you feel fatter, but again, not actually fat. It could be something hormonally. This is particularly true for women. Depending on where you are in your cycle, you're going to get curveballs with hormones thrown at you every single day. And some of those can manifest in your waistline and how your stomach feels. Again, not added body fat. Could be a gut health issue, right? So we have a ton of bacteria in our gut, and if those get disrupted, you can feel heavier, you can feel bloated, you can feel like your stomach is just disproportionately bigger than every other part of your body, and you don't know why. Once again, not necessarily body fat. Could be extra skin. So it could be if you've given birth before, you have that extra skin, especially in the lower belly area, or if you've lost a bunch of weight before. If you lost a bunch of weight before, especially 50, 60, 100 plus pounds, you're gonna have some leftover extra skin. And that's not necessarily fat. And usually that's gonna manifest in that lower belly region, maybe a little bit in the triceps, the chest, the face, those areas in particular. So all of those things are non-fat reasons that might make you feel like you have this stubborn body fat, but they're not actually. Okay, so a good test for a lot of these, especially when it comes to like the gut health and the bloating and the digestion, is if you wake up in the morning and you feel lean, your stomach is flat, you're feeling good, and then as the day progresses, as you start eating food, as you start drinking water, you feel heavier, you feel fatter, you feel bloated, it's probably not actual body fat. Okay, it's going to be more of an internal thing. And that's a topic for a different video, not my wheelhouse, but just be aware that that's not going to be belly fat. Okay, so let's talk about what actually is, or what to do, and why it's so stubborn when it is body fat. And the reason it's so stubborn is because it's what we call subcutaneous fat. So subcutaneous fat is that fat that you can pinch and feel. It's directly under the skin. Now, you can definitely have visceral fat in that stomach region as well, but chances are if you have visceral fat there, you're going to have visceral fat in other parts of your body. So you're probably going to have quite a bit of body fat to lose still before you can start stressing about that last lower belly area. But yeah, if it's subcutaneous, the good news is it's not necessarily detrimental to your health. So it's not a health risk. It's not bad for you. The bad news is it's very stubborn. So it's notoriously difficult to lose subcutaneous fat compared to visceral fat. There's another element that we have no control over, and that's our genetic predisposition as to where our body is going to lose fat. There is this myth and this concept called spot reduction, where if you wanted to lose body fat in a particular area, you would train it a certain way, you would eat a certain way, and you can target that one area. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so if you want to just burn fat in your arms or your chest or your stomach, you have no impact as to when that's going to happen. Your body has its own predetermined order in which the body fat will go down. So for some people, the first area you're going to lose fat is the stomach. For most people, especially that lower belly area, it's going to be the last spot to go. Okay, so you don't really have control over that. It might be tempting to do a bunch of crunches and a bunch of sit-ups and hopefully be able to target that area. But all you're gonna end up doing is strengthen the muscles around it, which is fine, but you're not gonna lose that weight. Okay, so you have no control over that. The good news is if it is body fat, if it is subcutaneous fat, it will go down eventually. It just might be the very last thing to go. So like I said, some people, it's the first thing to go, and then maybe they have stubborn hip areas. For some people, it's the last area to go. So if it is actually body fat, don't despair. Keep doing what you're doing. Make sure you stay in that calorie deficit. Make sure your nutrition is still on point. You're exercising. You're maintaining that fat loss. And it's just a matter of time before you do lose it. Albeit very stubborn, very slow. So you're going to have to be patient with the process. So the question you have to ask yourself after listening to this or watching this is it actually body fat? If it is, just trust the process. Keep doing what you're doing. Eventually you can get to a point where it's going to go down. If it's a non-body fat issue, try to identify what that underlying issue is as well and go from there. So hope this video helped. See you guys in the next one.